Hello and very warm welcome to everyone. This is Anand Verma, and today we will study about agricultural credit, meaning, definition, need, and its classification. So let's get started. Sorry for the lag. Hmm. So this is lecture 3, prescribed by ICF, agricultural credit, meaning, definition, need, and its classification. Let me zoom it. 300% zoom. 250, 200, 150, 125, 150. Yes, 125 will be enough. Okay, definition. Credit is obtaining control over the use of money at the present time in exchange for a promise to repay it at some future time. So, credit given by a bank to a specific person that it is based on the credibility of that particular person, that how much amount he or she can have from the bank. So there is a different type of credit based on the person and based on the bank. So credit is obtaining control over the use of money at the present time in exchange for a promise to repay it at some future time. Okay. According to Hopkins et al., agricultural finance as the means of acquiring and control of assets, means of acquiring and control of assets, ownership by cash purchase or borrowing or leasing or custom hiring. By purchase, cash purchase or by borrowing, it means you are lending money, and leasing, taking money on lease. Agriculture finance as the means of acquiring and control of assets. Acquiring and control is just acquiring and control of different type of agricultural assets because it's agricultural finance. You can do it by cash, by borrowing something, and leasing. And now here the farm finance. There are different type of definitions by different scientists, so you can learn each of them. Farm finance is a branch of agricultural economics. Now come to the farm finance. Farm finance is a branch of agricultural economics which deals with the provision and management of services of financial resources related to individual farm unit. Okay, it's a branch of agricultural economics which deals with provision and management for the financial resources related to an individual farm unit. Now, farm finance is not meant merely for more production, but also the raised productivity of a farm resources. It is not only dedicated to the produce huge amount of units in the field, but also to raise the productivity per unit area in a given farm resources. So not a mere loan or advance. So it's not only a loan but is an instrument to promote the well-being of farming community. It is an instrument to promote well-being of farming community. It means it is used for the welfare purposes. Farm finance is not just a science to manage the money, but how can you manage money, but is an applied science of allocating scarce resources to derive optimum output. Mere social obligation on the society, but is a layer with backward and forward linkage to the economics development, both at two micro and macro level. So agricultural finance, it means finance provided to the farmers is to, about fill the pit of backward and forward. So this was all. At micro level, farm finance may be defined as a study of impact of finance on agricultural sector, also on the economy as a whole. If agricultural sector will be raised, then economy will also move forward. So farm finance should have the following features. So features of farm finance. What a farm finance should have feature. So farm finance should be extended to farmers for farm activities. Farm finance should stimulate die productive of farm resources resulting in higher economic returns for the investment. It will promote low investment and high return techniques, which is the main aim of sustainable agriculture. Finance should promote economic development of farm household. Number four, finance should be provided by an external agency for strengthening the backward and forward linkage with the country's economic development. If it will not occur, then there will be a huge gap between backward classes and the forward classes in the agriculture sector. Okay, farmers and lending agencies. Farmers acquire finance for farm need at proper time, and lending agencies extend finance which can be easily collected. So, if you know AFO or AO like jobs will dedicated to collecting the money from the borrowers in agriculture sector. Try to get finance at a reasonable cost. Farmers, it is essential for the farmers. And lending agency try to get a reasonable rate of the return for the capital. They will apply the interest, the desirable interest, whatever they are prescribing. So ensure that their own assets are not exposed to high risk. Either they can play higher risk operations in the field, or they can save their assets by not putting it in high risks. So ensures owner degree of liquidity of security for safety. So now classification of agricultural credit. Agricultural credit can be classified based on the purpose, based on the time, a repayment period that in a dedicated period you have to pay the whole money, and security, generation of surplus fund, creditor and number of activities for which credit is provided. So based on the purpose, there are four types. Very first is development of credit, second is production credit, third is marketing credit, and fourth is consumption credit. Here, marketing credit, consumption credit. So development credit or invest credit, purchase of land or land reclamation. Reclamation means with the changing land nature and feature towards the higher productivity. Reclamation means removing all problems related to soil, finance, accessories availability, and so on. So purchase of farm machineries and implements, it will called or come under the developmental credit. Developmental credit as it clear with the name, it will use in the development processes. So credit obtained for irrigation facilities, for the enhancement of the irrigation facilities. So construction of farm structures, development of plantation and orchards, development of dairy, poultry, seafood fisheries, and sericulture, and so on. So now production credit. Here the loan amount is used for purchasing input and paying wages. If you are paying wages for your workers, for your agricultural workers, then it is being called production credit. Okay, or purchasing inputs like fertilizers, seeds, pesticides, herbicides, insecticides, biological control measures, and so on. So marketing credit, it is essential to carry out the marketing function and to get higher prices for the produce. Consumption credit. It is the credit required by the farmer to meet his family expenses. Repayment, sorry, no, the second classification is based on repayment period. So it is three types: short term credit, medium term credit, and long term credit. Short term credit for the 6 to 18-month period, it's a repayment period, and in medium term credit, it will have 2 to 5 years of a time period, and long term credit will have more than 5 years. So, this type of repayment period and the different type of credit under repayment period has been given differently by different books by different authors. So, this is the most reliable data, so you can learn it very clearly. Short-term credit will contain 6 to 18 month of time period for the repayment, and medium-term credit it will contain 2 to 5 years, and long-term credit will contain 5 years and extend up to 25 years against mortgages or a mortgage of properties and undertakings, so on. So sinking wells, purchase of tractors, and ranking. So you can take a loan for the repayment under 25 years for purchasing tractors and so on. So now come to the classification based on security. Here security spelling is error. They need to edit it. Well, security. Credit is provided to the farmers based on securities offered by them. Very first is farm. Very first are A. Farm mortgage credit. It is secured against mortgage of land. So tell me about what is mortgage in the comment section. Collateral credit or chattel credit. It is a given. It is given against the security of livestock. That if your livestock will destroy or any type of disease will affect them and cause their death, then at that time it will be given against that. It's like insurance. So personal credit. It is given based on the characters and repaying capacity of the person. So these were some basic and important. And come to the video is getting longer. Number four is generation of surplus fund. This is generally two types: generation self-liquidating credits, non-self-liquidating credit. Self-liquidating credit is in this case, loan amount get absorbed in the production process in 1 year or production period, and the additional income generated is sufficient to repay the entire loan amount. So liquidating credit is here the resources required with the borrowed fund are not consumed in the production processes during the project period. The investment, not separate, investment is spread over a period of several years. The additional income generated in 1 year is not sufficient. The additional income generated in 1 year is not sufficient to repay the entire loan amount, and hence the repayment is spread over to number of years. Number five, creditor and lender wise credit. Credit can be classified from the point of view of creditor. Very is first is non-institutional agencies. They include money lenders, traders, commission agents, friends, and relatives. This kind of loan generally exploitative. Institutional agencies they include cooperatives, commercial banks, and regional rural banks. These different types of section you have to learn very clearly. Number six is number of activities served based on the number of activities for which amount of loan can be used. Credit can be categorized into two sections: single purpose loan and composite purpose or multi purpose loans. So, this was the agricultural credit, its meaning, definition, need, and classification. Have a nice day. Thank you so much.